This is the trading review for the 25th of July, 2022. It's Monday, it's the first day of the week, Monday. And the market was going to be choppy today. We actually traded sideways the entire day. We closed very close to where we ended. So it was a sideways market, and you can see here on JD we traded from R4 to R3, and then we created value. And then on Apple, pretty much the same thing. Well, Apple was nicer. Actually, no, sorry. On Apple, we ran from R3 to S4, and then we bounced from S3 to almost the previous day close. But it was gonna be a very difficult day. So I took my first trade with some fear of missing out, and I made some mistakes due to that. The first one is that we were having a lot of bottom tails on the 1 minute, indicating that there was a lot of buying pressure here at around 937, 938, 930, 940, 939, 940. We actually created a hammer here, and I was expecting a breakdown from this compression, but I wasn't reading it. I was expecting, so I got stopped out for -1 hour, but no big deal. We returned to R3, and we had top tails, and I was actually certain that we were gonna have a breakdown, and I missed these pullbacks for an entry, and this could have been the best possible entry using the 1 minute, because you can see here that the 5-minute candles actually do not offer the best of entries. By the time you enter at the 5-minute candle break, you're already at R2, which is the first entry that I was attempting to do. So too bad that I missed it. So too bad that the market pulled back, and but there were clear signs that we were gonna do that. You can see the bottom tails here in the 1 minute, so that's my fault. A little bit of anxiety, but then on JD I was looking at the price action, and we actually run to R4, and this is technically the second test. But because the 5-minute candle was not very clear, I avoided taking it long, even though it was very tempting, and it could have worked out nicely for a 5-hour maybe run, or for a 3-hour with partials. But then I waited, and we had a big rejection here. We had this big spike in volume, but then we sold off, and then we failed to get igniting volume. We threw an upper wick here, and we were closing the 5-minute candle in a fairly solid red candle, and we didn't really have another push to the top side, but we were kind of rejecting VWAP. And so but all these attempts to go higher were non-existent volume, so I decided to make my entry here at the break of the 1 minute, break of R4 on the 5-minute candle as well, placing my stop loss at around 63.13, 63.12. I removed my stop loss because we had a little bit of a slippage. The ask was at my stop loss price, but the market orders were selling at the bid, so I removed it just in case I got triggered to 1 cent. But I was gonna get out at around this area, and luckily that's when the stock dropped a lot. I got out like 20% off at around a little more than 2 hour, and then 3 hour, 4 hour, and we ended the entire trade with a 4 hour, more than 4 hour return, more than 4.2, 4.3 actually, minus the 1 hour, so we ended up at 3.3 hour return, and that was my end of the day, because I knew the market was gonna be choppy, so it was impossible to time an entry. So that's the end of the trade review. Hopefully tomorrow I can avoid the jitters, the sense of doom coming, because the sense, not the sense of doom, the sense of choppiness that sometimes you can feel it. You can sense that the type of range we having is sideways action. So I need to be a little bit more collected, and but not a bad day, not a bad day. I managed to take one of the few moves that the market offered, so I'm very happy about that.